Hey everybody, Ryan McCaffrey with IGN, and it is a special day, special time in game history, certainly in my history and in everyone's history. It is the 20th anniversary of Doom, possibly the greatest first-person shooter ever. In my opinion, it is. It's one of the most transformative games in my life, and I think in gaming in general. And here we are in Doom. This is so I'm the Brown Marine, and the gentleman behind the Marine's eyes right now is none other than John Romero himself.
Hey
one
there.
Of the creators of Doom. John, it is a pleasure.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, this is going to be really cool.
So you and I, we're going to co-op through the first episode of the game,
All right.
which is 9 levels, assuming we hit the secret level, which of course we should.
Okay, I'll make sure we do that.
I think you know where to find it.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll remember as well. But yeah, I thought we'd take this time to take a tour together, to run through these maps again, and get a chance to ask you about some of your favorite Doom memories and just some things about Doom as it turns 20. So,
all right.
First of all, here we are in E1M1, which is arguably one of the most played first-person shooter levels ever. I know I've played this level 1,000 times and then some.
It's the classic horseshoe design.
So, well, yeah, on that note, was this always intended to be... Let's start shooting some stuff. Was this always intended to be the first level, or did you sketch out a bunch of levels and then decide later which one should be the first one?
Nope, this was made to be the first level. It was the last level made, which is always a pretty good idea when you're making a game to make the first level last, because by the time you are making the last level of a game, you are really good at making levels.
Right.
So that means that the last level should be your best level. And so that was basically what I did with this game, was make this level last. So it was intentionally, very simple, but I wanted to make, the hints of outdoors here, so people could see some outdoors, and give it some color. The game actually is kind of colorful. It's not the drab, browns and grays constantly, because there's blue carpet. And there's green slime, and Stephen Totillo was very impressed when he saw the blue carpet because he didn't expect to see it. Basically you can see the dead guys here that kind of, foreshadow bad things have happened.
And that's one thing I always loved about Doom that seemed to largely fall by the wayside, I know largely for technical reasons, was bodies staying on the ground in a game after, to really show you the hell you had wrought. In future games, as things went 3D, we started to see bodies disappear.
Yep.
I always hated that.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those. Hey, it seems more realistic and less arcadey if we just leave everything lying there.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be in that room too often anyway. I mean, you're moving through the world, so it's not like that's really eating up your frame rate constantly. It's there and gone. So, we decided it was a little more realistic to keep the dead bodies there because you're only going to see it for a little bit.
I mean, we should remind some of our younger listeners probably won't even realize even what we're talking about here, that Doom originally ran on low-end 486 machines.
Actually, it was 386
machines
that we were shooting for.
I think when I first started playing this, it was on a 4625 megahertz.
the SX.
Yeah, you
SX
bet.
For sucks.
And then I put a math coprocessor in it later to transform it into a DX.
Nice.
So here we are in. This is E1M1.
Oops, I took all the good stuff.
You are the creator of the game. I defer to you. But as we kind of look around this level, you mentioned some of the outdoor stuff, the color. That was one of the things that always jumped out at me about Doom, was how it really felt like a foreign place. It really feels like you're on Phobos here. So how do you work as the level designer for all these levels? How do you accentuate that in the design as you're laying out each map, thinking about the atmosphere and the place?
The textures were a big part of it to make you feel like you're on you're in a base of some sort,
right?
And also just the atmosphere, the mountains outside.
We do have one more secret to grab back here.
Yeah, you got to run over that.
Yep, let that trigger, and then we'll run on in, go up the lift.
I'll kill the last dude. Get some shells.
By the way, I should just because it is my job. I'm sort of representing IGN gamers and readers out there everywhere. When you said yes to doing this, to playing co-op with me through the first episode of my all-time favorite game, 14-year-old me inside was doing cartwheels. If I were to go back in time and tell my 14-year-old self that he would one day play co-op through the first episode of the game with John Romero, I think he might just pass out. So I thank you for being here. This is so much fun.
It's my pleasure. It's been so long.
So, what's your level design process? I mean, these are some of the best level designs that I think in any first-person shooter. I mean, again, between the sense of atmosphere,
it's an abstract level design.
The secret, the secret areas, and the way you'd use lighting and implement some horror elements here and there. Did you sketch out levels on paper first, on napkins, on graph paper? What was your process?
No, the process is it's an iterative play design process. So basically, what I did was before I created, the very beginning, like this level actually went through a lot of iteration here.
Yeah, so we're in the hangar now.
Is it the hangar?
Or sorry, not the hangar.
The nuclear plant.
Nuclear. The hangar was the first
one
level.
was the hangar. So what I do is I envision like what could be a really cool vision for the player as soon as they enter a level. I want the player to be impressed as soon as they see the level.
The first thing they see.
Right? So they need to see something impressive to be interested in it. Because if it looks awful, it's not very exciting. And it gets there, especially on the first and second levels. You really got to show off some cool stuff. So the first thing that I did was try and think about what is a cool look, what would be a cool look, and so this area here I thought was interesting, just because it gives you possibility. It's like I could go left, I could go right. What's that flashing light? What's through here? Oh my, what's this elevator? So there's a lot. Back when this game came out, this was pretty complex stuff because people had seen Wolfenstein level technology, so this was a new world for everybody. And so seeing this, there was a lot to explore just in this first little room. There's a secret. There's a key card door, which is introduced on this level. Key cards and locked doors like this red door.
Yep.
And there's glowing lights now, and there's a bunch of barrels and dead people, and and then there's like stairs going up, and you get to see a lot of outdoors here.
And I always love the outdoor, the sort of mountainous look of the outdoors in this. Because it just made it feel like a remote, isolated
base. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny thing. This picture here was taken from a photo book, and it's a picture of some mountains in China.
Interesting.
And it's funny. People on the internet have sourced anything that we scanned that's been used in this game. They know exactly where it came from. But if you want to go out there, you have to find the secret, which is right here on the texture that looks different.
Boom.
Yeah, you knew it.
It's all in my head, John, at this point.
You remember all. And so, yeah, I wanted players to kind of get the feel of, I'm flipping a switch. And then when they flip it, nothing happens where they're at, but they hear something happen. So that's like an immediate, kind of a learning point for the player. Oh, I can flip switches and things happen in other parts of the world. Okay. And then they get to see their first really interesting power-up out here, the Soul Sphere.
What the hell?
What?
Oh, just this. That was the
Soul Sphere,
response. Yeah. And then of course in Doom 2 the Megasphere.
Yeah, the Megasphere is the other guy with the full armor too. So yeah, out here was you feel kind of some freedom from the confines of the halls of the base, but you can see into it, and this was way more complex than anything anyone had seen at the time. So you're like seeing inside of a 3D building, and you're outside of it. And the magic of the whole thing is just the crazy frame rate that John Carmack got this to run at.
Yeah, it was a revelation at the time.
So it was very, there was just nothing like it, but it was portended the future. And so, there was a lot to explore in this first area, and to finally, open up a door, go get a key, come back, and then use the key.
Yeah, we've got our red key now. So if you're wondering, by the way, gee, Doom looks even a little better than I remember. We are using a bit of an updated mod here.
We're using the source port called Doomsday, but these are the original graphics. None of these have been changed. There's some dynamic lighting, but other than the dynamic lighting, this is, like that's a bright glow in front of the switch.
Yep.
That's the only, really, these little glows are the differences. Bam. Okay.
Let's do it.
And then that opened up this secret, which was another, like, in the same level.
Dark area with the strobe lighting.
Yeah, if anyone found this, it was really this was a really interesting part, because I drew all of these shadow lines to make it look like the engine was casting light, from here across over to here, and so I made it look like I was simulating that it was casting light to make the engine look even cooler.
So what were your tools that you used internally at id? Because later things like I actually used to make Doom levels with DoomEd. And there were a couple of other ones.
Yeah, so there's the original program was called DoomEd that I wrote, but that was written on a Next Step workstation, because we made Doom on workstations. We did not use PCs to make Doom. It was made for PCs, but PCs were basically inferior to Next Step.
Right.
And Next Step is, as many people know, is what OS X is on the Macintosh. In fact, if you're a Mac programmer and you're calling any of the Cocoa or any of the functions inside the app kit, you're calling functions that start with NS for Next Step.
And now this was a classic moment in the game. The first time you'd get the chainsaw.
And you have to flip the switch to get it.
If you found it. 'Cause we're back here in a secret. You'd see it through this window, like, how the heck do I get that thing?
Yeah. Normally you would get to a further point in the map and look through here and go, no way, that's a chainsaw up there. And it looks cool because you're looking outside. So,
yes.
No one's been out there because there's no way out there. And I wonder if there's anything hidden where I can't see it. I'll say no because I made this map. But
now, did you pick, or did John and the programmers pick the names of the cheat codes?
That
the
was
IDDQD
Dave Taylor.
and
Dave Taylor programmed all the cheat codes.
So because of course there was for all the weapons IDKFA, id kicks, effing.
Well, the id was just like company identifier. And so, if you were doing LucasArts like Dark Forces, it was LA for LucasArts.
Right.
And so we kind of used the prefix id KFA, and that meant that the weapons kick effing.
So how about DQD then?
So the DQD, that was a Dave Taylor, that was a personal cheat code that he just made up, and it stands for Delta Q Delta, and the Q stands for quit. And what that meant was, when he was in college, if him and his frat buddies were getting too low on their grades, they would just quit the class. And so they did this many times and just created this imaginary fraternity called Delta Q Delta for the guys that would just quit classes if their grades were gonna make them fail.
All right, let me test your mind here on one more. IDSPISPOPD.
Yeah, that's id spiz pop d, smashing pumpkins into small piles of putrid debris. And that was basically, there's a long story about how that happened, but we did not create the name of that cheat code. That was created on the internet while we were making Doom.
What internet?
It was on the Usenet. Sorry.
Yeah.
And it basically, people were so excited.
Rocket launcher.
Yeah, look at that. Go ahead. I have the rocket launcher already.
That's right.
People were so excited on the internet about Doom, and the reason they're excited about it is because in January, when we started making the game, we put out a press release saying it was going to be the best game in the world.
Well, at least you actually did it.
That's so funny. So we knew the tech that we were going to put together, and so we were like, let's put out a press release. But that got people very excited, and so people were on Usenet just like waiting for the game, not knowing it was going to take us a year to make it.
Yeah.
But they were very excited, and they started creating ideas about how cool the game would be, and it was going to be the greatest game of all time, and they started coming up with this crazy ideas. And one of the crazy ideas was, you're gonna in Doom, you're gonna smash pumpkins into small piles of putrid debris.
Well, that's the Cacodemons basically
They
fulfill
turned into
that
that, yeah.
prophecy. Yeah.
But someone actually made a game called Spiz Pop D. It was pathetic looking, but it was hilarious that they did it. But that's how far it went. People went so far as to actually make something that was funny, just because they were just tired of waiting for the game. But yeah, that's where the cheat code came, and that cheat code let you clip through the walls, just basically go through walls like you're a ghost. And we changed the clip, or we changed that code to no clip in Doom 2.
For Doom 2, yeah. Open that, and that'll take us towards the exit door.
Yep. Which has stuff in it.
So, I mean, what do you think? You know, because as I said, I would sit in Doom Ed and make levels back in the Doom days, but then, you know, eventually, of course, starting with Quake, I mean, you guys again, everything went 3D, and you know, then it became way out of my and a lot of people's capabilities to make maps anymore. Do you kind of lament that in a way? Like it's sort of I mean, so many talented people sprung up and many careers were launched, but you know, the simplicity of the 2D level design was
this engine, more than any other engine, enabled players to create the same atmosphere that we created in the game, because the engine itself has this thing called diminished lighting built into it. So no matter what light value you have in a hallway, it will diminish over distance and make it look scary automatically without the player having, or without the designer having to actually try and make the light level go darker the further away from the player. The engine just does it. So you get automatic scary game, basically.
And I'm guessing we can thank John Carmack for that.
Yes. Yeah, John did a great job with the diminished lighting, and it was almost like it showed off our control of our color palette, because we had to make different shades of each of the colors in Doom so they would be able to step down through the light levels. So yeah, you can see that there's a blue door that we have to get a key for.
Yeah, like, all right. Well,
and this is like ooh, poison, don't go in here. Even
you're
though that's
dead
a really
if
cool
you go
secret
down there.
later.
I've died plenty of times in there.
Yeah, that's the way to the secret level. Oh, eat that. This was a pretty cool, like, oh, look at that, a soul sphere. You get to see the cool secret and figure out how to get it.
That seems to be a design or a level design trick of yours. You know, a carrot at the end of the stick, if you will.
Yeah. Go figure this out. You know, it's like, wow, a room that's huge. There's people down in there that want to kill me. You know, how do I get down there?
Yeah, there were no facts. You know, the FAQs. There were no no internet wiki guides back then.
Hank Lucart actually did make a Doom fact first. And that was on Usenet. So people were trying to document as fast as they could the information that they had even before the game was launched, because there were some leaked alphas and stuff.
Yep.
So people actually did. Hank Lucart was the guy who started to document, and then other people started to do it after him. Yeah, that was a good shot.
What's the secret to making a good Doom level, John? Because obviously, again, people like myself have tried many over the years, but you're the master of this. I mean, we're playing your best work right now.
So, really, like I've started to talk about before, my level design process is an iterative play design process where I start building a level and I play it immediately, and I feel the space that I'm moving through, and do I like the way it looks, and is it the right length of I guess movement space? You know, do I like the amount? Oops, sorry.
That's me. Now there's a secret here too. That
yeah. So
we have to
basically
trigger back here, right?
Up. This was one of the really insidious secrets for people.
And then run up and hang that left.
Hang left, yeah, and then go get that
towards
soul
the
sphere.
strobe light. Yep. Down here we go.
Meet the bad guys.
Well, we already killed them all, I think. Oh, not all of them.
Oh yeah, you'll see. There you go.
You see me down here, right?
So what I do is I keep on creating the level, and I run it, and I keep playing it, and I just tweak it constantly over and over. So each of these levels, by the time I'm done making it, I've played the level like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And I go through the whole level. I didn't really, while I was making the level, I don't think I like started in the middle, you know, to test half the level.
Right.
It was a flow. You know, it was like, how does this feel for a player who just died and started this level? Is it doable? Because that was important, that if people died and started the level over again, that they could do it from nothing. So I had to make sure I was playing it from the beginning with normal weapons, not like bringing stuff through levels with me. So every level is doable with a pistol start.
Backpack, which of course
And
can
then
be a little bit of
secret
everything.
door
Yep.
right there.
Boom.
Yeah, I wasn't very worried earlier when I got down to, I don't know, 50-something percent, because I knew I was going to just find everything.
Now, at what point did you guys realize that you might have something really special here? Was it quick? I mean, obviously you said you'd sent out a press release saying that you were going to make the best game ever.
Yeah.
But
we were hoping, like on paper and in our minds, I guess, you know, the technology was going to be really brand new and amazing, but we just needed to create a really fun game. You know, it was really important. I gotta get health now.
Yeah, sorry, you strafed in front of me, John.
I know.
Friendly fire. Hey, there's a big health pack right up there if you need it, which you do.
So yeah, oh, it won't go back down. That's right.
Well, I've got a 25%er over back near me.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get there it is. That's good enough.
I won't shoot you again this time.
Whoa.
Did you ever read the Doom books, John? The 4 novels that were done?
I did not read those. David Abhue, I think, is the guy who
That's
wrote
right.
those. And Brad Lynn-Weaver.
Yep, that's correct. I actually thought the first 2 were really good. I really enjoyed them.
I have them.
Yeah, they were little sort of novelizations of the first 2 games. And then the second 2 books, books 3 and 4, I thought were not nearly as good. They were their own stories, and they went off into some strange places.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that it was just, I wouldn't have named the guy
Flynn.
Yeah, Flint McTaggart.
Flint Taggart. Yeah.
Or Flint Taggart. Yeah, I wouldn't
they
have done
call
that.
him Fly.
Like Fly.
There's our blue key, but the lights are gonna go out.
Yes. Yeah, this was like a really fun, scary moment for people back when this happened.
And again, for younger viewers, this was terrifying in 1993.
Yeah, you go up and like, oh, let me get that key. Lights out, and you hear the door open with just hissing from 4 things, and it's not a good time. You have to find the light in the corner, which is funny that's not on right now, but there's a light that's supposed to... Oh, it's because we're in difficulty mode, the hardest difficulty, and I took the light out in the hardest difficulty.
Ah.
But there was a light to show the way out, like in a dark movie theater kind of thing. And just jump down
Hit
here.
that pit, yeah.
Yeah, so in the game, all of the things, like the switches and all of these lifts and the doors and the strobe lights and all that stuff, I programmed all that stuff in the game.
Wow.
So it was basically, hey, I want to have this here. So I code it. I put it in the game, and it works. And then, okay, that's cool. How about really fast stairs coming up? You know, so then I code that in there. And so I did all of the coding of the interactive environmental elements in the game.
Because what a lot of people don't realize, I mean, Doom was made by how many of you was it?
6.
Yeah, 6 of you. So, I mean, John did the programming. You had Adrian doing most of the art. Is that correct?
Well, there was 3 coders. That was me and John and Dave Taylor.
Right.
And then Sandy. So Tom Hall at the very beginning was designing the game, and I was programming DoomEd, the editor, for us to use, because traditionally Tom Hall and I would. He would create the overall vision of a game, and he would do like half the levels. On the earliest games, he did all of them. But then I would do the other half of the levels. So we kind of were doing the same thing with Doom. And
get back to that blue door now.
Yeah, and there's the blue door, but there's the secret too.
Oh, of course. Well, you're right. We need to get to that secret level.
What do you want to do first?
Well, I guess we might as well clean the level and then go do the secret level.
All right, we'll blow everyone away in here. Boom.
Bow. See, and to me, this game is 100% still fun and replayable to me today. It's
Yeah.
just the combat, the weapons, and again, I said it at the beginning, the atmosphere. To me, Doom holds up in a way that Wolfenstein does not.
Yeah. Well, it was a little bit too primitive on the Wolf side. Yeah, there's the secret right here. Okay, come on down. Oh, he doesn't want to come down.
And again, if you are not as old as John or myself, this game was, or at least the first episode of the game, which was at the time a third of the game. The fourth episode wasn't added until later when you guys did Ultimate Doom.
Yeah.
You gave it away for free.
Yeah.
A thing called shareware that we don't do anymore.
The thing that we're playing was free.
Yeah, this was all of no cost to anyone.
Yeah, and if you liked it, then at the then you would kind of see the 1-800 number that you would call on a telephone.
Yeah.
Or you would actually send a letter through the U.S. Postal Service with a check for $35 to buy this game.
What a steal! Although
Yeah.
I suppose $35 in '93 money, it's about $50 now, but
Yeah.
all still a steal.
The prices have always been the same, even from 1980. Prices for games have remained pretty much the same. Actually, they're even cheaper now.
That's true.
With the dollar, iOS stuff, but they've held the same for a really long period of time.
Ah, there you are.
Yeah,
It's very easy to lose your partners in this game. 'Cause you
yeah. I
move
went off
so
and got all
fast.
the secret stuff, so I was invisible and everything.
Do you have any specific memories of December 10th, '93, like the day the game officially came out, John, or is it nothing?
No,
Nothing
of course.
particularly stands
No,
out.
I remember everything. So I have hyperthymesia, which people can look up on the internet, which means I have almost perfect autobiographical recall of everything
That doesn't
I've done.
sound like a disease. That sounds
It's,
like
it's
an
a
awesome
sickening
thing.
disease. I remember everything. So yeah, I basically remember everything. So I totally remember what happened on December 10th. We had been up for 30 hours.
Wow.
Sandy Peterson was sleeping under his desk. People were
That's
calling.
right. We're going
Dave.
to the secret level.
Yeah, this is the way out, and the secret level is back this way.
Yes.
So Dave Taylor was being called randomly by internet-tizens, people that figured out his extension. People were just dying for this game to come out, and so they would do anything they could. Ooh, yeah, this guy's just popped out.
We need to next pinky you get, John. Take a chainsaw to him if you will.
All right.
Just to remind people of how great that is.
I did chainsaw. I chainsawed an imp earlier.
Oh, so good.
And that chainsaw is from Evil Dead, the movie, Evil Dead 2. And so is a shotgun. Let's see. All right, we're there.
Let's do it.
Also, if you behind us, I think that is a
that's
platform
right.
to go into that little circular area. But don't try it.
Well, I got credit for the secret, so it's all good.
I think we have all secrets on this level. Yes.
We do indeed.
All right. 99%.
So yeah, tell me more about that day.
So we finished the game, and it was funny. Earlier in the day, this was the first time we actually tried to do a real test of the game, like let it run on computers for for hours, just to see that it will not, have problems. Because the game was very rock solid.
Oh, whoops! You stepped in front of
wondering
me, John. I was
what
trying to
actually
crowd
happened.
control here.
This is real co-op. This is not the you can't hurt your buddy co-op.
That's
this
right.
is realistic. So that day, we basically got we're done. Game was all ready. Oops.
Whoops!
I wasn't
Turnabout is
trying-
fair play.
Not trying for a impromptu death match.
You would clown me. Now you're famously good at Doom Deathmatch.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
talk more about that later, but
So, well, look at these guys just coming up from below. Nice kill.
we couldn't have choreographed that better.
I know,
You
that was so
darting
funny.
in front of me.
Another enemy. So yeah, here we go. Oh, bad guy. Don't want to get,
Yeah,
chomped.
don't. Well, now we
right?
both need weapons.
So
again.
we had the game running for, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 hours on the computers at the office in our final testing phase, which we had never done before. So this is great in the corners.
Yeah, to drop down?
Yeah. This corner over here. Oh, I'm a liar. It's in the other room. Okay. Getting key. Going to yellow door, which is not that one. Oh, yeah, the pentagram. Everyone loves a good pentagram.
Oh, you guys were
teleporting in
taking
bad
the task
things.
for this.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. You guys are Satanists. You're evil.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, heavy metal. Heavy metal is all about Satan.
It's a game called Doom.
Yeah. It's called Doom. It has pentagrams. They are expected. So the game is running. I love this story that never ends. The game is running for hours, and then guess what? One of the computers fully locked up. Like, it froze. And we were just, no way. Like, it had never done that before. And we had no idea. And there was only one computer, I think, that froze up as well. And so it was, like, really weird. And John, I think you could, it froze up. I can't remember. No, I don't think that it actually even could go to the menu anymore. But I think you could get out of the game. But so the computer itself wasn't destroyed or anything. It was just that the game froze.
Yeah.
And so John thought about it. And he was thinking about, you know, what possibly could make the computer do that he has coded into the game. And he thought about the timer interrupt that we have. There's a timer tick that basically is the heartbeat of the game.
Okay.
And so in thinking about the heartbeat of the game, he thought about the implementation of that and was thinking about, you know, what is the value that the code is looking at to see if it should process the next frame and keep this game at, you know, 10 frames a second for the monster AI,
right,
and 35 frames a second for the visual, you know, refresh. And so he looked at that code and he saw that the code did not take into account the fact that value could wrap around back to 0. And so when it did the 0 wraparound, the game froze because there was no value higher than the one that was basically maximum value. You couldn't actually even look at that kind of a value because you didn't have the bits. So so he figured that out, and it was a real simple fix to basically he set the value on purpose to almost maximum so he could see that that was the real reason, and he saw that it worked, that it was happening that way. And then he just, at the beginning of the program, just clear the value out to 0 and then periodically reset the values so so it would never even get close to the wraparound point. Because we had a timer running at about 140 cycles a second for the game.
Interesting.
And that was basically to process sound DMA, basically taking the sound effects and pushing it to the sound card. I'm almost
Sound Blaster. My Sound Blaster 16.
Yep. Yeah. Sound Blaster 16 was the card. It beat up the Adlib Gold.
That's right. I remember.
And I just opened. Oh, I'm dead. I just opened the room full of death.
I am out of ammo completely.
Well, you might as well just embrace the room.
Just embrace fear.
Just go have some.
Whee!
Hey guys.
Oh, that's right. And that's another great thing about this game. Tell me about was it intentional that you guys had all the monsters hate each other and they would fight each other?
Yeah.
Because that's another thing that modern games don't do.
Yeah, that was one of the things that we thought would make the game seem even more realistic. Is like, what if different demons just hate each other because they're chaotic evil, right?
Right, of course.
So chaotic evil, they hate each other. You know, some of them. If they're buddies, if they're like the same kind of demon, then they're kind of on each other's side. But if they're different demons, then they could have some sort of, you know, hate thing going on. Ah, so funny. How about kill, shoot?
Oh, that'll open up later, right?
Yeah, that's going to open up later.
When we go through the red door.
Oh,
here.
I just got the red. Okay, kill everyone.
I got your back.
All right.
Literally.
Yeah, you got it. Nice.
So over here, around.
Oh, watch out! You're next to a can.
Another genius element of Doom is the exploding barrels.
Yeah, they're good and they're bad.
That's true.
Yeah.
See,
so
now
this
I really
released
wish
the
I had a
dudes in the
chainsaw
other
right
room.
now.
Huh?
I really wish I had a chainsaw right now.
Yeah, you could just burn through these guys, but we died. You have okay. Damn.
Whittling them down here.
Damn.
One left.
I had one ammo left.
What's your favorite monster in the game, John?
You know, I really like the Cacodemon. He's been my favorite for a long time. And the Revenant just makes me laugh.
Right?
What?
Here's where we can drop down.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, for all kinds of good things. Well, for me. Get a little bit of hurting in there. I don't know if we can both get it.
Nope. I'll
get over on this one. Oh, nice. I will take this one. Burn. Okay. Okay, let's see.
All right, blue door.
Yeah, you got it?
Not there yet. Hold on. Be there in a second.
The
there we are.
Here.
I'm ready. I'm waiting for you.
Okay, and
back up top. So
jeez, where is it?
Up top, back to the beginning. It was one of the four. The only other way we didn't go. There.
Here we go.
Hey, buddy.
All right. Oh yeah. I remember making this room. Yeah, and this was the final room I made in this level. Because
so you really would design rather straight sequentially.
Yeah. Yep. I start making a level in the first room and I end it in the last room. So I try to kind of tie it all together. Oh yeah, this is the secrets with the posts that you have to kind of
run across the top of them.
Yeah, you got to run on the top of the posts.
Oh,
did you play this recently, or are you just remembering it all?
No, I promise you, this is all just torched into my brain in such a beautiful way. I'm so glad it's there. Now, I actually haven't played in the last few years, I'd say.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, got to get to the corner.
Yeah, I think you can go one at
nope,
one. Oh, look at you trying to actually jump with the little cheat, because
no, I've not jumped, not at all. I didn't.
Really, it looked like you jumped.
Nope. I promise you.
All right. So I can, yeah, you can go right across. Can you do it?
I got one of them. I got the box of rockets.
Jeez.
I just want the chainsaw.
I got that.
Oh, good. Oh, well. This is an entertaining video for people to watch.
Yeah, I'm sure it's boring. Let's see. Yeah, you have to jump down here to
go around the back.
Switch.
Yep.
I got killed somehow.
I'm really close to death.
I wonder how that happened.
No, I didn't shoot them. It was them. It was not me this time. I only have a shotgun, and I wasn't even there when you died.
Okay. Oh, wow. Still monsters. Okay. Oh, and another room opened up. Okay, and
I'm
give me
so
some
close to death right now.
Yeah. How about we just go to the next level without death?
That works.
So yeah, the way I make the levels is me playing through the game and you know, giving the player choices, areas that look like they're really fun to explore, because exploration, I believe, is, you know, a super important part of being really excited about a game. And I kind of learned that from playing Zelda, because that game is so so much about exploration.
Absolutely.
And the reuse of areas. You know, the way that I will landmark a level and show something and get the player to kind of move through the level more than one time, to basically
look at you with your secrets.
Understand the 3D design of the level, by making them come through it multiple times is from Zelda, actually, because at the beginning of Zelda 1 on the NES, the first area that you start in has has these bushes that later you get a lantern that you can throw fire with.
Yep.
And when you burn down those bushes, there's a dungeon under it. And that dungeon was in the first room of the game.
Yep.
You know, and that to me, I was like, wow, that's really cool how they reused the original area. So I always try and do that when I'm designing, is how do I, you know, maximize my design by reusing it multiple times in different ways. So in full 3D, like Quake, that was easier to do because I could have the player come through a room multiple times at different altitudes or different areas. And that kind of kept reinforcing the understanding of the level for the player.
Now, was Quake, was that just liberating for you to be able to move to 3D when you guys made Quake?
Oh yeah, that was really, really big. It was really awesome to be able to make 3D levels. It was also way more time spent making levels.
That's what I was just actually going to ask is, you know, let's say, you know, the episode 1 that we're playing now, you know, you said you started with the first, well, you made E1M1 last. How long did it take you to make E1M1?
It probably took me...
You remember everything.
I think it was probably 2 weeks because I came back. I stopped E1M1 kind of in the middle, and I came back to it a little bit later. And I think in the earlier alpha versions, I started making like the skeleton of it, but I didn't come back to it later to finish it until I was better at the level design stuff. So, so you could see some earlier versions of E1M1 that have some of the rooms looking different, but the overall shape is kind of the same.
Right.
And I think I had mentioned earlier the classic horseshoe design.
Yes.
Which is basically making a level that's like a horseshoe. You start at one end of the horseshoe and you go
loop
kind
around.
of almost in a circle. And you know, Heretic uses that. Quake uses that. Doom 1 and Doom 2 first levels are classic horseshoe. And that's basically so the player can possibly, you know, it's an easy to understand, you know, shape.
Yeah.
With Doom 1, you could see the other side of the horseshoe, which was exciting. With Doom 2, you couldn't, but it was basically you're guaranteed to have a nice short little, you know, bit of a first level and feel some success quickly. And so I think a lot of designers may have, you know, kind of taken that example to like, hey, yeah, let's not make a crazy epic first level. Let's give the player some closure soon so they can kind of take, you know, catch their breath. And
it looks like you've already taken care of business over here.
Yeah, that was the next room. Oh, look at that guy. Oops. Yeah.
I love how far away you could shoot people in this game, too,
yeah,
at certain
well,
times.
yeah, the other thing that you'll notice is that with Doom, there was never a render distance maximum. So both Wolfenstein and Doom would draw as far of a level as you could make. It did not go into fog like modern 3D cards do.
Oh, we've got one of the... Isn't the other... is this the swastika coming
Yeah.
up here?
Yep. Actually, I bet you this isn't swastika. Let me see.
It is.
Is it? It's changed, right? Yeah, I changed it. So it was a swastika when we first released the game, and we got a lot of complaints.
All right, so my memory isn't totally awful or wrong here, then.
It was a swastika.
Yeah, okay.
But in, I think, version 1.666,
I remember.
Then I changed it to this shape because we had people complaining, and really, the funny thing is that I wasn't trying to promote Nazism.
No, it's
I was
evil,
referencing
right?
I was referencing Wolfenstein. You know, in Commander Keen, one of the levels that I made, I made a pipe, a little pipe design of a swastika in it as a reference to the next game that we were going to make, which was Wolfenstein.
Yeah, which is what game developers used to do all the time.
Oh yeah, but they thought that I was like that I was a neo-Nazi or something. It's like, I don't like Nazis. You're killing them in Wolfenstein, right? So how could I like them if you are killing them in my game? And I was just referencing Wolfenstein, you know, with this shape in this room. But, you know, and we got lots of people, you know, crying over different things about the game. But that was the only thing that we changed. just because I think we got a particular like letter from someone who is a vet, and so well, okay, for a vet, we'll do that.
Oh, this is a classic maze part right here too.
Yeah, yeah. This level, out of all the levels, this one here, Tom Hall originally started, and then I took over and finished it. So this part of the level was Tom's design. This pretty cool up and down maze here, which was, you know, brand new for games.
I'm out of ammo again.
Because it was like, oh, here's a maze, but now it's a maze that goes up and down, which is different from mazes in other games that are not 3D. Yeah, and I'm totally like destroyed right now.
I'm about to die.
I have 4% health.
2%.
I wish this was Wolfenstein. I could actually eat someone's dead body.
Well, I finished off that
2% health. Okay, I found.
Was the goal of this level to confuse players and to really sort of mess with them?
Nope. Nah. This was just another abstract level design that was supposed to be an interesting base. And I think in this part, this was designed to this little maze here was designed to confuse players, to put them into a maze that they have to figure out.
Because you even got the low ceiling. It's like it's very claustrophobic and imposing here.
Now let's see what happens. Boom. Yeah, I went to another room and
even the floor level changes just a little bit.
Yeah, up and down.
Spot.
Yeah, it's the confusing maze room basically. Oh, I can't even open that door now. I died, so I get to watch you go to the yellow door.
I actually...
You died too?
I did, and I went looking for weapons.
Oh, okay, so now we need a blue key. Let me see. I can't jump that far.
I should just leave this spot and come back to you.
All right.
There you are. Here's that way.
Get the blue key. It's inside this room. Bam. Okay, now we can go through this door here with a pistol, which is a sad thing, with a pinky coming after me.
I got your back.
All right, there we go. This version does throw some extra blood out there, so that's kind of cool.
There's a little subtle depth of field effect in this open source job here too.
Yeah, they did a really great job with this Doomsday port.
Feels very faithful to the original while still just adding a couple little touches.
It is really nice though that 20 years later we can play the game at the exactly the way it appeared.
It's true.
But also, even with Doomsday and Z-Doom, they've extended the engine to be fully 3D. And you can make a full 3D Doom level. That's pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
Bam, okay.
Well, and, it was when you guys, Carmack and all of you were big on just releasing the source code. Like, go wild, do whatever you want. And that's, if you had some parent company over you, they never would have gone for that.
Oh, totally. Like, there's no way ZeniMax is releasing anything ever again. There's no source coming out of there now. Don't hold your breath for id Tech 5 source.
No.
Yeah. All right.
Now this was one of my favorite levels of the episode right here.
Yeah, E1M5. This was
a
I
great
agree. A
deathmatch
lot of people
level
really
as well.
like this level. I love this in deathmatch. This is one of my favorite deathmatch levels.
I have no guns again.
Yeah, there's a shotgun up here. Get the shotgun. It's behind the door.
Oop. Nope. That's bad. And I'm dead.
Nice. How about shooting the bugs? There.
Okay, that's secret.
Get
Go
it.
down into the.
Okay. And of course, everyone wants to come up here now and kill me. They've already done you in.
Yeah, I'm already history.
Nice. Okay.
If I can get one of these. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm getting somewhere.
Okay. There's some bad guy. All right. Oops.
Now we can jump down.
Do you want some ammo?
I do, actually.
Yeah, there's some ammo right there. Now
we can jump off that ledge.
I will kill him. There it is. Oh. Oh, jeez.
Are there
there's
any
nowhere to
like
dodge.
lost levels of Doom or things that were cut that are interesting now?
Yeah, there were some cuts. Not too many of them. I did a Doom postmortem at GDC in 2010. Oops. And kind of talked about. I showed some alpha versions of Doom, and those had some those had things in it that we cut because one of the big things with Doom was getting rid of lives, because lives was a holdover from the arcade era.
Sure,
where you're
yeah.
pumping quarters in, and so we basically I basically thought, why I don't want to start the whole game over again if I die. That would make me mad. So
Of course.
how about we just let the player start over again with no weapons? That's probably bad enough.
By the way, look at again my point earlier. Look at the corpse pile. Look at the dead bodies.
Look at
in
all
here.
of them.
It just feels like we
did something.
we wrecked some here.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love it.
So yeah, we got rid of lives. We got rid of score.
Well, sort
Wolfenstein-
of. You guys did the par time thing at the end of each level.
Yeah,
That's
I did
sort
that
of a
because
score.
that was a fun thing to just kind of shoot for. But Wolfenstein had par times, but it also had a score. So in Wolfenstein, you picked up lots of little artifacts, and it gave you points, and you could go for a score. But in here, putting those items in made it feel like a little arcade game. And it took the realism away from the game. Like, why would there be demonic daggers and skull chests lying all over the place? Sure, the demons took over, but why would they drop artifacts like that? Hey, they look the same. So that felt cheesy. And so we took out all of those special items that we put in there to support score, and we got rid of score.
Interesting.
So it was important for the feel of the game that score went away.
Hey guys.
Oh, that was pretty cool. We both did that.
Nice.
Oh, I ate that one. Oh, there's a lot of stuff down there. Yeah.
There's a neat little outdoor secret area coming up here as well.
Yeah, with the chainsaw.
Yep. See, you have a photographic memory in real life. I have a photographic memory when it comes to Doom. Just Doom, nothing else.
Just remember everything about it. Like the health here and the secret over here.
Uh-oh.
Got it. Okay, there's a pentagram in
Getting
there.
shot from somewhere. Oh, behind me. That's bad.
Okay, well, I got 2 dudes.
That's right. They came from the sides.
Okay, that wall? There it is. Okay. Yay, pentagram of teleportation.
Somebody donate something
And
for
health.
me.
And invisibility. And bad guy. Yeah, okay. So this was so great in Deathmatch, having this teleportation room, and just the shape of this level was really, really great. And I played in tournaments in this level. I made one of my best shots on this level ever in a tournament.
What was it?
I basically, at the beginning of the level, I was basically going after somebody, and I'll just do it on video here. I'll just run to the beginning. And I had the rocket launcher, and I followed the guy through that secret teleporter. Actually, why don't I just do the teleporter? So I basically, he just went up the teleporter. I came and did this. He just went through it. I went through the teleporter, and then I just shot a rocket that way, sideways. And basically, the rocket flew straight across, and he jumped down into the slime to go get the rocket launcher and the blue armor, and he just hit my rocket, and it was the best 90-degree flick of the wrist shot that, and I think I won the match off of that.
So one of my favorite moves, particularly with Doom 2 with the double-barrel shotgun, was to, go through a teleporter when you know you're being chased and then back up.
Yeah.
And just blast them when they come through.
Yep, yeah, Doom 2, that was level 13, the downtown level. Had a
huge level, huge map.
Yeah, that was great. Sandy made that map. He did such a great job on it.
Oh, bad guys. I got him.
They're all dead.
We got him.
It goes back up.
Yeah, I'm taking the super armor
cool
here.
Stuff over here. All right.
Mega armor, pardon me. And then, the secret outside.
Oh,
Rad suit.
yes.
I'll leave it to you since you got to...
Oh, Soul Sphere, hello. There's a ton of health out here. If you need any help.
At 96%.
Oh yeah,
so I'm cool.
No need to kind of throw it in the trash. I like the secret within a secret. You're like, oh, I found a secret closet. Oh, there's a secret behind it. Oh, there's another secret.
So speaking of deathmatch, a thing that again, this is pre-internet. This is before gaming took off on the internet.
Yep.
There was this network. There was a service. It was a bulletin board service of sorts called Dwango.
It's called Dwango.
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 That means I've been pronouncing it wrong.
Doom
for
Wide
years.
Area Network Gaming Organization.
Yes. Now, of course, the home base was Houston server. That was sort of regarded as the
far away phone call.
I lived in Arizona, so I played on the Phoenix server.
Oh,
and it was just a
cool.
core group of us. I don't know. Thinking back, it was probably like 15 or 20 core guys.
Yep.
That you'd see there. I would just go hang out in the chat. Like I would just log on and just sit there.
Yeah, I wrote that client, by the way. When you ran Dwango, I wrote that.
Why am I not surprised? You wrote everything. You and John.
Yeah, that was those guys. When Doom 2 launched, those guys basically gave me a disc at the launch event in New York City in this church called the Limelight.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave me the disc and just kind of begged me to please run this disc. It's really cool. And so I did, and I was really impressed by the fact that I could play Doom like at any time by calling in to a server.
Yeah, on your 28.8 modem.
Yeah, on your 28.8 modem, and so I told Jay Wilbur I want to make this thing happen. I want to help these guys out because I want to play Doom at 3 in the morning and not have to call my friend, hey, turn on the modem.
Yeah.
So that's what I did at night was work on Dwango, and I worked with Key Kimbrell, who was the server programmer, and so we would basically sit on the phone with like a duo phone, which is the like speakerphone setup from Radio Shack, and we would both just have the phone on and sit there and listen to music and chat while we're coding, and then every once in a while I'd tell them, oh, okay, I need to give you another header file because I defined another packet type. So let's go into Procom. So I would run, get off the phone, use the modem, use Procom to transfer the file, and then we call back up just to stay on the live chat.
You didn't get the second phone line? Because that's what a lot of us did.
Yeah, I didn't get a second phone line. I just had the first one. I wasn't going to use a second. I barely used phones. I used a cell phone back then.
Oh, that was ultra cool. That was Zach Morris style almost.
Whoa. There's that guy. Okay.
There we go.
Here's the dark room.
Oh, this was gold, too.
Bad guy coming right around the corner there.
I got him.
Nice.
He's got to notch hit this barrel.
Okay, I'll go the other way. Yeah, I'll go the...
Okay.
Yeah.
Pinky. There we go.
So,
now, are you a Gib or Jib guy?
It's Jib. It's not. No, there's not a guy.
Like, no,
are you a Gib guy?
Jib doesn't sound right to me.
Giblets. Jib is short for giblets. Giblets are innards.
All right. Well, all right.
And that's why it's Jib and not Gib. It's not the brothers Gib.
If anyone's going to correct me on Dwango and Jib, it's you. I'll take it from you. But
yeah.
So,
well, you know what? Jibs was Adrian's name. Adrian Carmack came up with the word Jib.
Did the barrels originally Jib people?
Yeah.
Or
we didn't change anything after the barrel was written and it worked. It was done. We moved on to some other stuff.
I didn't know if that was maybe. I was wondering if that was maybe if they died in regular fashion, and then you thought, well, gee, if they're being exploded by a barrel, we should really accentuate this.
If something takes over 50 hit points of damage, it gets destroyed. And so also, if a player gets hit really hard over a certain number of hit points, they scream loud, louder than normal in Doom 2. I remember putting that in one day. I was like, I want a funnier scream for when you get hit really, really hard.
So were there, because the Dwango, they would put together their own map packs.
Yeah.
Both sort of modified levels. And
they made their own levels.
I mean, the most famous one, at least
Six?
that I remember, was Dwango 5 Map 1. Which was sort of, it took Doom 2 Map 1 and just opened it up.
Yep. Yeah, that was a great map.
On the Arizona server, the Phoenix server, that was what everybody played all the time.
Yeah, that was an amazing. I played that map so much. It was really great.
Do you have a favorite, like, user-made map? You know, a map that the community made?
Wow. I really liked the... Jesus. Okay, I just, like, did a bad thing in here. There's 100 monsters in one room now.
You've left me behind.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening right now.
I know, it's a little tough to play it. It's not as easy as it sounds, folks, at home, playing and talking at the same time. Even when you've made the game, as John has.
Oh, yeah, and in Deathmatch, there's no way I'd be talking. Deathmatch is psychological. It's, like, very non-talky. Unless I'm screaming at the guy.
Right. All right, I've caught up to you now. Let me grab a copy of that
after
red
taking
key.
care of the room.
Yeah. Now that you've done all the work for me.
All right. Yeah, the red key.
I think we're all set in here.
Nice. Get the little... Investigate all the corners for extra items.
That's right, the little armor bits. This was one of the first rooms I remember where you could take out most of the room with the exploding barrels.
Yeah. Yeah, they were put in there to help you as well. Yep, and I made this one. And the last, I think the last level I made was level 7, which is the most complex one. They were on level 6 now.
Yeah.
But I made level 7 last, and level 8 was made by Sandy. Sandy Peterson wanted to make the boss level, so.
Interesting.
So he made E1M8. But,
with the Barons of Hell on it.
Yeah. The two, they were called the Bruiser Brothers.
I never knew that.
Yeah, they were originally, they're whoa, behind you.
Whoa, thank you.
They were originally, here we go.
We're good. I caught him.
Okay, good. Yeah, originally their name was Bruiser. And so we had two of them, so we called them the Bruiser Brothers back there.
Now we can run off here and run straight ahead.
Yeah, if you want to go under, I think there's a radiation
Soul
suit
sphere
behind here. Come on, back. Bad news. Ouch.
I'm trying to remember, was there a way out of this? No, I have to run.
You got to go back. I know there's... There it is.
There we go.
Now I got a rad suit. Did you get all the good stuff?
I'm good, yep. I got it, all of it.
All right.
The light goggles, now I can see everything.
Oh, you went in that little, yeah, you got it. Okay, good. So we got most of the stuff here. There's a little room over here. Bad news.
Oh, barrel. Yeah, just pop that barrel.
There, things are hurt. Yeah, you can get that armor if you want.
I'm good.
Blue.
I'm all good.
I think we got everything.
Yeah, I'm at 194 or 192, so I'm all
nice.
set. I got this room started earlier.
Cool. Yeah, I wanted this to be like a little hub room. So the player could get to a point where it's like, whoa, there's a bunch of spokes off of here to investigate.
Yeah, it's funny. You sort of deftly mixed linear stuff with some very open-ended stuff.
Yeah, it's like here's an amount of freedom that's limited by some doors, but at least you got to investigate the space and you know where you got to go next. And the player felt like they had a good amount of exploration.
Whoops, didn't grab a yellow key.
Yeah, that was good. And so that's why that was designed that way, was to let the player kind of, here comes the maze. Pretty much right here. All right.
Oh, dudes came out behind you. I'm working on them.
So this level was the level when the computer auto map power-up was put in there.
Yep.
This is the level it was first tested on. So you can actually see.
Yeah, this is the first level it shows up on, right?
Yeah.
Because we hadn't missed it.
Actually, no, it showed up on 5.
Did it? Okay.
In a little secret area. Bam. Bam.
I've got the rad suit now.
Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of slime in here. Oop, bad news. I love how they didn't shoot me.
I'll just follow the trail of
they're
bodies
dumb.
to catch up to you.
Oh, I'll flip a switch anytime.
So you've mentioned Doom 2 and sort of in passing a couple times. Famously, of course, your head is on a pike behind the wall of the final boss. Was that you, or was that the guy sort of doing a goofing on you, or what was the story with the head?
So yeah, that was my head. That was taken from a picture that was taken at id. So what happened was I was basically the artist thought that. Well, okay, so I was at night. I was programming the sounds of that level.
Yeah.
And I needed to get the boss scream when you hit it with a rocket.
Yeah.
So to do that, I didn't want to like try and play the level where I'm like having every monster come after me and spawning monsters and all that stuff. I just wanted to shoot the thing. So shoot the sprite that was hidden in the wall back there. So I no-clipped back there, and as I was no-clipping outside the level, there's a Hall of Mirrors effect.
Yep.
And I was getting closer, and I thought I saw myself on the screen. I was like, what is going on? So I thought I saw my reflection, and then I got inside that room, and I'm like, no way, seriously? They hid my head in here, and I was just, I knew it was hidden in there. It wasn't, and they didn't say anything to anybody. It was the artists that did it. It was Adrian and Kevin. And so they hid my head in there, and I'm like, so they think that when the game comes out that they're going to laugh and tell me what they did, but now I know what they did. So I'm going to put a secret in here that lets them know that I found out. And so that's what I did was I was thinking, how do I let them know that I found this when the game comes out? So I thought, well, that's my head behind the boss, and to win the game you have to shoot my head. Yeah. So why don't I say to win the game you must kill me, John Romero, but I'll reverse it and pitch shift it so it sounds evil. So when you come into that room, it sounds like that big icon of sin on the wall is saying something to you. So Bobby Prince was there, and it was like 10 at night or something. I went in there and I told him the whole story.
Yeah, your sound guy.
So he recorded it, he pitch shifted it, I programmed it in. First thing the next day, as soon as everyone gets to work, American McGee comes in, and everyone, we were all over this game constantly. So as soon as we started testing the level, as soon as he started testing the level, he heard that and he's like, "Ooh, scary reverse pitched backwards voice. Let me reverse it immediately to hear it." So he pitch shifted. He basically didn't need pitch shift it. He just reversed it, and he found out exactly what it said, and they told everybody. So the joke lasted a day,
but it was worth it.
Yeah, but we left it in because it was funny, But it was this like it was just an in joke that we were trying to do between ourselves.
So it wasn't a John Romero ego thing. It was totally this team.
It was the
team
artist who
on each
hated me putting my head in there as a joke. And anyway, I thought it was awesome, and we left it in because it was so funny. And we'd already gone through all the work. It would take more work to actually get it out of there, so why do that? So we just left it in there. And then everybody got to see it and figure, kind of guess what it meant. But what it was just an in-joke. But that is, I think that story is out
right
there.
Here
I think it's in Masters of Doom, the book that David Kushner wrote.
Which is a fantastic read if you're a Doom fan.
And if you didn't know, people out there, the book is all true.
Yeah, it goes into some tensions between you and some of the other guys, John in particular.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're creative. Things happen like that.
Well, and is John Carmack the smartest guy you've ever met?
Yeah, he is incredible.
The guy is. I've been lucky enough to meet him a few times and interview him, and I feel like he operates on a different level.
He does. He's still the best programmer I've ever met.
Yeah.
He's he's just supernatural, pretty much. Yeah, and the things that he did first before everybody else are, that's what got us moving forward in the industry.
It's very true.
The only thing I think about now is like, what if when we released Doom, we actually released Brutal Doom? We would have destroyed the game industry, I think. Brutal Doom is hilarious.
I forget how that door opens that I
Oh,
got
it's down
stuck
here.
behind.
Oh, that one? Yeah, it's some sort of trigger. I think I can trigger it from where I'm at, but I'm gonna die. The second. Let me see. Can I open it here? Oh, no. Not gonna happen. Let me see.
If I run.
Did it happen now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Door's open. I'm through.
I think you did it, though.
Yeah, I must have backtracked enough.
All right. Ready for more bad things at the exit? Because here it comes.
Let's make it happen.
Oh, wow. Get me out of here.
Well, I'll just shoot from up above on my perch.
As I die.
Yeah, you draw them
asked
in
for it. Hey, have some. Get me
from
outta
the
here.
safety of my ledge up
It's
here.
so funny playing the game and talking the whole time. I feel like PewDiePie. All right. Wait, there is a shotgun. Thank you.
Well, what do you think of John leaving it and going over to Oculus?
I totally understand it. You know, I mean, 20 years at a game company is a really long time.
It's a long time.
And you know, if you're at a game company for 20 years, you know, that's like you've retired from the military.
True.
You know, because it's 20 years. And I remember at Origin, they would present very few people, you know, that lasted 20 years with a special award. Herman Miller got a 20-year award. And at Blizzard, if you go work at Blizzard, if you've been there for 20 years, you get like the most amazing helm ever. If you're there for 5, you get a ring.
Yeah.
And for 10, you get a sword. 15, you get a shield, and 20, you get like
So you get the whole set of armor at that point.
Yeah, you get a whole set. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Really like the way.
I mean,
Blizzard.
is because it seems to me as a fan and someone who is somewhat does, you know, I've spoken to John and have sort of witnessed his genius in person, and obviously I've played his games all this time. It almost feels like Oculus is almost the perfect place for him. Like, that's a great way for him to push, to help bring a really cool new technology to gamers.
Yep. Yeah, I think you know, VR is the idea of virtual reality has been around for a really long time, and you know, that was kind of one of the things that got Michael Abrash to join id in the first place, was to create a virtual world in 3D, and you know, John is still pursuing that, and I think Oculus is his you know, another way that he can see that dream fulfilled.
Although maybe with that brain of his, maybe he should just be curing cancer instead of making virtual reality
You know
headsets.
what? I've thought about that so many times.
Like, wait a minute, could you
solve this problem.
Yeah, could you
You're
take
like,
care of cancer, John?
You're from a different planet. Solve this.
Well, I think, are we ready for the exit on this one?
I've been ready. I'm like, yeah, if you can flip that switch.
Yeah, I'm there.
I'm just running like
Cool,
a rat
I'm
in a maze
there.
here. Oh, thank you. So now, E1M7.
So you said this is the last one you did.
This was the last in the first episode. This was the last level I did. Well, the last one before I did E1M1 and polished it off.
Right, okay.
But this was the most complex one, and then, you know, it was very easy to go back to E1M1 and make it nice and simple, but using everything that...
Barrel. Yeah. Ooh,
Oh,
I love
nice.
that.
That looked great.
It just never gets old. That's the thing. It just, no matter how many times you do it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, these guys, back from 1993, you know, these guys getting shot in the head. It still looks good. You know, but they're former humans, so it's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're former, which was one of the, you know, possible secrets of the game's success. Is I'm not killing real people or people that are like Nazis that are alive. We're killing former humans and monsters.
Oh, another barrel. Yeah.
Bam. You know, so that's a little more acceptable. But yeah, this is ooh, get me out. Oh, not good. Not even good.
I mean, you know, obviously, you know, you had your reasons, but, you know, when you left it was for gamers at that point. I mean, that was almost like McCartney leaving the Beatles. I mean, do you ever you know, miss working with the original guys and miss working on Doom and
yeah,
and
I mean,
Quake
the team was, you know, in our heyday, the team was the best. And we were we were invincible.
You were. You really were.
Yeah, and we felt like we could do anything, and that was really great. But you know, things change. Time moves on, and you know, there was a lot happening back then. But it was, you know, it was a really amazing time. It's one of those, you know, it's very rare to be able to work with a team that is perfectly in sync and be able to create something that can endure like this game has for so long and still be really fun this many years later, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this game, you know, and I'd say it not just to kiss your ass that you're here, but this would genuinely be one of my desert island games. Like, I could just play Doom for the rest of my life, as I've already done for 20 years.
Yeah, with a level editor.
Yes, that would be great. Then I could really work on, especially now that I've gotten some free lessons from you.
Well, you know, the Doom level editing community has gone far beyond our designs, our original designs. There's just some amazing level design that's happened.
Oh, you stepped right in front of me. I was going for the Switch.
In the past 20 years, there's been some unbelievable level design happening out there. And if you go to doomworld.com, you'll see, you know, the beginnings of the community that has really stayed with this game and spent time honing their design process to, you know, just the limits of what this game can do.
Yeah.
And you know, I would love to make some more Doom levels, but the funny thing is, to do that, I'm gonna have to learn how to level design even more because.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the attention to detail and the attention to detail and the techniques that people have created are far beyond what we did at the very beginning. And if I'm going to release something, it needs to be, you know, state of the art of this game at the time.
Right.
Know? So I can't release, I think, a 1993 Doom level. So
you got your rad suit over there.
Yeah, got a nice. Oh, Soul Sphere. Yeah, that's the only way out. So yeah, I don't want people, you know, because what would happen is they would instantly take my level apart, look at the data, laugh at my alignment textures. You know, they would pick it apart and just go, yeah, worthless. So, you know, it's up to me to spend time getting really good at all the new detail-oriented design that they've achieved. To actually say, here's a new Doom level, and it's state of the art as of, you know, 2013 or whatever.
If you were going to make a new Doom today, what would your philosophy be? What would your approach be?
Well, it would be a pretty big multiplayer game, either, you know, Battlefield or an MMO, Battlefield 4 style.
So 64-player Doom.
Yeah. I think it would be really big, but the world would have to be pretty huge too. I would get away from. I would still have, I think, these corridors in the feel of claustrophobia that there is, but I would make the player go between levels as if it's an open world game.
Right.
And let the player choose where they want to go and what kind of situation they want to get in. So, you know, it might feel a little like, you know, Battlefield / Fallout 3. You know, open world, choose your destination, you know, and what you want to get into, and basically, I would want to focus my design on how can I innovate in this game. Like, what can I do that's new that people haven't seen before in a shooter? And I know there's lots of things that haven't been done yet. In trying to incorporate it, you know, basically into the design.
What do you think something that Doom did that modern shooters have gotten away from?
Well, this abstract level design process. You know, this level kind of looks like it could be a base, but it's also wacky. You know, it's also pretty crazy, and there's monster closets all over the place. But it's not linear. You know, it's very.
It's true.
It doesn't feel linear, even though some parts of it are like, well, you have to go get this to get this to get that to open that. But you know, I think that.
Oh, let's see. We're looking for the red door.
We're both opening the door at the same time.
After you, sir.
I think that games really have gotten away from the skill aspect. You know, designing a game where the player takes tons of hits and you're basically a bullet sponge, and you move really slow, to me is a really boring game.
Yeah.
You know, I really don't like that kind of style. I love having the speed and the agility that Doom has to allow me to dodge rockets and run circles around the other players. You know, that's really cool. That's a fun game to play. But a slow-moving cover-based type game is not anything exciting to me. I can't stand cover-based stuff.
Do you find all the, you know, hand-holdy bullshit that's prevalent in a lot of games now completely annoying?
Yeah. You know, when you started Doom, there was no instructions. It was like, okay, there you are.
Yeah.
You start up the game, hit new game, and now you have to figure out what to do.
Well, most of the games of the 90s were that way.
Yeah. Yep. And, you know, people do appreciate it. If you play, like, Super Hexagon, you know, that game is very hard. It's extremely hard. And, you know, and people love it. You know, people that, like, love the fact that you know, wow, I'm glad that I don't have to go through an entire tutorial process that I already understand how to play to get into this game. You know, that's great to kind of get away from that. I think, you know, you make a game for expert players, you don't put in instructions, right? But it's just like, are you going to make games for expert players? If you are, you know, let them figure out how the game works, you know. But if you're making a game for casual players, you know, if you're doing something that other casual games don't do, go ahead and tell them what the differences are. But, like, don't waste time telling them the same thing they've seen 100 times over.
Do you hate that the first level of almost every game is like a tutorial now?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I know what to do. I would rather like it if the game would just let me start up and start playing and shooting, and if I didn't do something long enough in the sequence that they kind of hope that you go through, then it would pop something up on the screen and basically tell me, you know, oh, you need to do this.
Right.
You know, press the whatever key to call down. I think I pressed the crazy button on the mouse.
Well, go ahead and finish off the level anytime, because I missed the yellow key at some point, so I'm locked out.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right, I'm going. I just killed all the guys at the end from outside.
Well, yeah, it's fun doing that, to clear your own path. What'd you think of Doom 3?
Doom 3? I thought it looked great, but the gameplay was too predictable, and that's what kills a game. As soon as your game is predictable, it's boring. And so I played 8 hours of Doom 3 until I finally just quit.
So you did not finish the game?
I didn't finish the game because, you know, oh, if I pick that up, it's going to spawn a monster behind me.
Right.
Because it's done that 100 times already. So,
right.
Yep, it did it. and then it was just like, you know, I don't really feel like going to the hell part just because it's just going to be more of this. So.
Well, I will say, spoiler alert, great. I'm completely blanking on the name of the boss in front of John Romero. Yes, Cyber Demon. The Cyber Demon at the end of the game was really well done.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, all the monsters were really well done. Kevin Scott was Ken Scott. Kenneth Scott. He was an amazing artist, as was Adrian, and you know, he really brought an amazing look to that game. And you know, he's the head of I think the art director of all the Halo games now. Yeah,
indeed. He worked on Halo 4, which looked amazing.
Yeah, he actually worked on Daikatana. That was his first industry game.
All right,
with Chris Perna, if you know Chris Perna at Epic.
I've heard the name.
He's the art director of the Gears series.
Yep.
He was on Daikatana right after Ken left.
So yeah, I guess as we near the end, real quick on Ion Storm, were you aware of just what Warren was doing with Deus Ex? Like, did you understand that that he was making a just generational kind of game?
No, but I hoped that he was making the game that he had always wanted to make, because that was the point. When I talked to Warren in September of '97, I basically went down to his office in Austin because he had just been his studio in Austin basically had just been released from working on the Thief: The Dark Project game from Looking Glass, and so he was ready to do something new. And I found out the day that happened, so I called him up and asked if I could come down and talk to him, and I went down to Austin and basically said, I will give you as much money as you need to make whatever you want.
That's hard to resist.
That's a deal.
Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, when you get an opportunity like that never happens, you could see what people can do, and he did Game of the Decade.
What are your terms? And it doesn't matter.
Make a great game. Make the game you always wanted to make, because I know you can do it.
And he did.
Yeah, he did amazing work. I had to protect his studio from being closed by the other founders of Ion Storm several times.
Wow.
You know,
you don't
I
doubt
basically
Warren
said,
Spector.
I basically said, look, he's Warren Spector. This is what happens. Warren starts working on a game. Game comes out. Game wins awards. That's Warren Spector.
That's how it goes.
You know, I don't care, like, if you hear that there's craziness happening on his dev team, because whatever craziness is happening makes those great games. So
right.
I'm only concerned about the high level, and the high level is that he wins. So you give him whatever he could possibly use to make a great game, and let's give him an opportunity he's never had and see what happens.
Now here we go, the
Bruiser Brothers.
Bruiser Brothers, the Barons of Hell. I'm getting mauled.
Yeah, same here.
Wow.
Bad things are happening with these.
I managed to get myself cornered. So is John? I know it might sound. I don't want it to sound like egotistical coming from you, because I'll say I think Doom is the best first-person shooter ever made.
Wow.
What is that for you? Is it Doom? Do you have another one that you feel is just the number one in your mind?
I'd say for changing things and bringing new things to gaming, I think Doom was the first game to do that.
Yeah.
The first-person shooter to do that, because it brought so much, and it really, when you can surprise the world like that, that's a big achievement, to be able to surprise the world with something that they've never seen that really is incredible. That rarely happens. I'd say Half-Life 2 is the other game that has done that.
I think the world would pretty well agree with you.
That's an unbelievable game. The addition, it is so hard to add to the lexicon of the shooter in a really well done way, and with the gravity gun and the physics puzzles in Half-Life 2, they really did that. They added to the first-person shooter universe, basically forever. And now lots of games use physics puzzles.
Before we step onto the pentagram and end,
it's the end.
I wanna thank you, John, for just, I don't even care if anybody watched this video. It's just like I got to play through the first episode of Doom for the 6 billionth time, but my first time with one of the creators himself, John Romero. What are you up to these days? It's still big loot games, or excuse me, loot drop rather.
Loot Drop is going to release a game soon, and we're about to start on another game, and I'm also working with a company from New York on some other games, and working as the creative director of UC Santa Cruz's master's program in games and playable media.
So if you're in Northern California and want to learn from a true master, we can enroll down there.
Yeah, you can learn from Brenda, my wife. She's amazing as well.
So John Romero, one of the original creators of Doom, definitely a legend in this industry, and certainly a man who has earned all the respect and success. Was it super crazy just like walking and buying like a Ferrari in the Doom days?
Yeah, because it was cash.
I was like, that's nuts. That's so great. But those were the times. John, thank you so much. And where can we follow you on Twitter? You want to give any plugs?
Yeah, at Romero is my handle.
Easy.
Yeah, very easy. And Romero.com is my wife and my site. And I think those are the two main places for information, other than my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/theromero.
And I guess real quick, as we watch the text ending of episode 1, whose idea was the severed bunny head at the end?
That was Adrian. So Adrian Carmack wanted at the very end something that was just kind of funny.
Success.
So the rabbit's name is Daisy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Daisy, she's got a name. John, thank you so much. Happy 20th anniversary.
Thank you very much.
Does it feel good to have created something that is just so well loved for so long?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, the game is holds up. It's really fun to play.
And for more on all games, be they 20-year-old legends like this or the latest and greatest stuff, you're already in the right place here at IGN.